United Kingdom leaving.
Since I became Prime Minister, I've said we must get on and get Brexit done on October the 31st so that this country can move on.
Sir, my amendment is that Mr. President should be invited to come and explain the situation
for the Nigerian government to stop killing its people and
But I remain committed to the United Kingdom leaving.
Since I became Prime Minister, I've said we must get on and get Brexit done on October the 31st so that this country can move on.
Sir, my amendment is that Mr. President should be invited to come and explain the situation
for the Nigerian government to stop killing its people and
But I remain committed to the United Kingdom leaving.
Since I became Prime Minister, I've said we must get on and get Brexit done on October the 31st so that this country can move on.
Sir, my amendment is that Mr. President should be invited to come and explain the situation
for the Nigerian government to stop killing its people and
But I remain committed to the United Kingdom leaving.
Since I became Prime Minister, I've said we must get on and get Brexit done on October the 31st so that this country can move on.
Sir, my amendment is that Mr. President should be invited to come and explain the situation
for the Nigerian government to stop killing its people and
When it comes to politics all over the world, there's so much to chew, and you cannot take away drama from politics. Hello, welcome to Open Conversation. This is my way of welcoming you. Well, it's the network's flagship political platform through which trending political news, events, and stories are discussed with stakeholders. Through these conversations, ATN uses political talks about specific issues and party system and actors to explore hope and engender positive impact to the society. Welcome to Open Conversation. First on our lineup today, it's elections. Rivers APC claim Governor Wike is in talks with works to work for Tinubu's election. Well, how is that going to unfold? Remember, there was some time we had it here on this program where speculations had it that they met themselves at Turkey and where they traveled overseas, and it was debunked. Remember, Joey Bokwe, a stakeholder in APC in Lagos, who is also part of those furthering the course of the re-election of Sanwo-Olu, and he said that there were talks like that really going on. Then he dropped it on his Facebook. Then he dropped it again out. He deleted the post and all that. So, well, could it be the speculations? Remember, they said there's no, from the rumor mill, there is no rumor without some level of facts. Well, we'll see how that will go when we come to discuss this and see how things will unfold as the day goes by. So, next is 2023 elections, inter-party squabbles. PDP river stakeholders at each other's neck vows to fight till finish. Well, several things have been spilling with the PDP issues. Remember, there's supposed to be a scheduled date for the NEC meeting that's supposed to take place tomorrow and next. And that meeting has been postponed. And remember, since Governor Wike lost out of the primaries held in Abuja, he lost to Atiku Abubakar, it's been one issue or the other. He's been silent all this while. Then later on, he actually spilled the milk and did a lot of talks. Well, another thing really going on there, people have it that he may be working against the presidential candidate of the PDP, if we have it right now. And several things going on in the PDP, mudslinging issues here and there. And someone like the former senator, in person of Lee Meba, has come to say a lot of things and say that the governor doesn't really have respect for citizens, especially for party members, actually. Then we know that yesterday we had the governor of Lagos State come to commission some projects in Rivers State. And the governor of Lagos State is off the APC platform and is contesting on the platform of the APC, and is a strong, ardent supporter of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the presidential candidate of the APC. Well, he's coming. Remember, there was the time we had three of them come, three APC members come into the state to actually have a meeting with Governor Wike. Could it be the hatching of the plan really taking place right now? Will it be that there will be a different party supported in the state and a different one supported at the national level? Various prophecies about that is really gearing towards that mark. And the third on our list, State of the Nation, ex-governors Dare Inyame regained freedom. It's 4 months after they had the presidential pardon. Well, people were really against it, saying that their release or the presidential pardon being given to them will really engender and encourage more corrupt practices in Nigeria. How is that going to unfold? On another hand, doesn't the president have the right and the prerogative to really grant pardon to whomsoever he decides to grant pardon for or to? Well, that's an issue really going to be on the front burner and has been on the front burner of the elections in Rivers and in Nigeria today. Next on my lineup, it's towards 2023, court fixes date for hearing on Tinubu's certificate forgery case. We are on that matter and we're still on it, and we'll follow it and make sure it comes to a conclusive conclusion, as some people will have it in Nigeria today. We'll see that that's going to unfold. Some people have said this certificate issue has some really great grounds to stop the presidential aspirant or candidate of the APC to further his ambition and become the flag bearer of the APC come 2023 elections. Will it be? We'll have a legal luminary going to enlighten us and illuminate our minds towards this today. And the matter has been fixed for 7th of September for the hearing of the Tinubu certificate forgery case. And last on my agenda today is towards 2023 reasons you postponed PDP caucus neck meeting. Well, some people say that the reasons are still hinged on the crisis in the PDP, and moving with the camp of River State Governor Nyesom Wike, who is really not giving heed to the yearnings and the plea of the camp of Atiku Abubakar, who is the current flag bearer of the PDP. On another hand,
from the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics.
We have to discuss this morning, and we'll take a break right now. When we'll come back, we'll give you a background to the issues and table the matters and see how we could dissect it with the guest on ground today. Stay with us. This is the Open Conversation. We'll be right back.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
It's the people making the difference in our time on ATN Icons. Here, we present you legends celebrated for their heroism in different fields and serve as role models today. ATN Icons, showing every Sunday 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Atlantic Television Network, StarTimes DTH channel 194, ATN Live on Google App Store, Facebook Atlantic Television Network, YouTube Atlantic Television Network, Instagram Atlantic TV Network, Twitter Atlantic TV Net. For sponsorship 0810 634 1777. ATN Icons, celebrating the giants of our time.
The people, the candidates, the party, the campaigns. What really makes an election year? Enough of the rhetorics. It's time for issue-based politics. 2023 elections. Who are the candidates? What do you know about them? Take a seat, relax, and join us for the 2023 elections on Atlantic Television Network, StarTimes, DTH, Channel 194, or ATN Live on Google Play Store and all our social media platforms. Twitter is at Atlantic TV Net. Facebook and YouTube is at Atlantic Television Network. On Instagram is at Atlantic TV Network. Elections 2023 from Mondays to Fridays at 8 p.m. Election 2023. We the people have a stake.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human trafficker.
Honorable They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what they block.
economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
But I remain committed to the United Kingdom leaving.
Since I became Prime Minister, I've said we must get on and get Brexit done on October the 31st so that it...
Or cutted the presidential candidate of the party, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The party said the talks with Wike, chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, are still inconclusive. Sometime we had it here that there was a meeting that was supposed to be held, or there was a supposed meeting, and they said they met themselves. The question is, can politicians really meet themselves without talking about pressing issues? And we know that the governor is actually hurt. We had a broadcast he had sometime, and he spoke and spilled the beans on several matters on ground, saying that Alhaji Atiku Abubakar actually spoke lies when he granted an interview with a national television. And prior to that time, we had issues which led to some speculations that he may be being wooed to really walk or come into the APC. Some people said that it's not going to be true, that he will not leave the PDP. That's talking about the president of Governor Nyesom Wike. He will not leave the PDP, that he will be in the PDP, but work against the PDP at the national level. And he's really sown too much to actually leave the party, so they said. But even as it warned the governor to mind his actions in the state. Now, moving on with some other issues now. He says that even as it warned the governor to mind his actions in the state. Now, those are matters we had to really talk about sometime. We had some issues really having them think that the speculations may be true. Now, the APC gave the warning in a statement released on Sunday by its spokesperson, Chris Feinbone, in response to Wike's Sunday assertion that some politicians in the state were hiring thugs and other criminals to help them win the 2023 elections. But there's been an assertion that if you have a glimpse or a privy information to what is going to happen, that means you yourself have really participated in some kind of issues before. There's been some speculations that for Governor Wike to have had that people are hiring thugs. What was the incident that happened in 2015 and the elections before 2015, where we had the PDP have their sway in some manner, and we had issues where thugs were really employed to really gain so much support for the PDP and work for the PDP. Those were issues really brought to the fore. Is this really raising alarm? Or is this something that he as himself has participated in before? Those were matters being said today. Now, Wike had issued a warning that any hotel that hosted a gathering of these lawmakers would be demolished. The governor is the chief security officer of the state, and there are some laws that are, or there's some power he wields today. And some have said that, does he really have that power to demolish the hotels in the state? Is it going to be infringing on the rights of some members or members of the public? Is this right to him to say that? Now, Feinbone said that, Chris Feinbone said in his statement that Wike's predications has not been helped by the inclusiveness outcome of his offer to work for the presidential candidate of the APC, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in exchange for a safe landing and protection after the 2023 general elections, having been convinced that Tinubu would defeat Atiku Abubakar of his party, the PDP. Well, this is a matter on ground today, and it's gaining so much ground. Most people have said that he will work for the APC in Rivers State to win on the national level and work against the PDP. You know, he's really made some speculations and really made some statements. And we know he has been angered by the loss of the 2023 elections and by the speeches made by the standard flag bearer of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar. And that really caused a lot of issues. Are the issues still burning in the PDP? The statement by Governor Wike, we also have it on preview, that he says that he had a meeting with some stakeholders and that he's going to really see how the party will win at the national level. And he continued that, it says that as Wike presses on with cutting the APC to secure protection after the 2023 general elections, a close ally of the APC presidential campaign, Governor Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State, and other APC stalwarts will be in Rivers State, or they have been in Rivers State, and they're still talking. Remember, there was a closed-door meeting be held by the calling of the three wise men, which Governor Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State was in that meeting. He's come to commission some projects in Rivers State. There was a closed-door meeting held formally. Now, his coming here, people said that it's a speculation that he's come to solidify the agreement he's been having with the standard flag bearer of the APC, talking about Ahmed Bola Tinubu. Is this an issue on ground? And is it really something that is right for the party to do? Will he be working against the party? Doing all these moves, making all these moves, is it that he's really made up his mind to work against the PDP at the national level? These are matters really, or these are questions really yearning for answers today. How is the fight going to be in the PDP come 2023 at the national level? The camp is already drawn. The line is already drawn with the matters happening today. What is the matter going to really turn out to? Will this really make a president of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar taking a bite of what he sowed previously in the past? Remember that most people say that he led to the removal of Uche Secondus, and is also leading to the removal of you, you, and this is one of his grounds he wants to, this is one of the things he's bringing before the fore to make sure that he regains the power today. Remember we discussed yesterday that George Bode George wanted the party chairman, Inyocha, to be removed. And most people have said that this is the grounds in which the postponement has been for the next meeting and the meetings they're supposed to have. This is the first meeting they're supposed to have after the loss of Governor Nyesom Wike at the primaries, or after the primaries today. Is he going to gain some grounds? Remember that he wasn't given the VP slot. His name was amongst the three that was submitted to Atiku Abubakar. And Atiku Abubakar amongst the three shows the person of Delta State Governor with person of Ifeanyi Okowa. These things, is it something that would say that Governor Wike is getting a fair share of what he's sown in the past? Remember that he has really sown so much. And is this, he's not getting the presidential slot and the vice presidential slot? Is it like he's not giving or he's not getting profit from what he's sown in the party? These are matters really yearning for some really great answers today. Now, moving on with some other narrations. Start State this week to either commission projects undertaken by Governor Wike. I'm talking about Governor Sanwo-Olu. Now, the party further warned Wike against demolishing any hotel. That's the APC in Rivers State, warning him not to demolish any in the state. Will he be taken? People have said that, is this the way to play the right politics in Nigeria? Is this the way democracy should be played in Nigeria today? What the move the governor has made, the statement the governor has made, is this a way to really play politics in Nigeria? Are you really mudslinging or squeezing the rights of the people, making them to be subject to your yearnings and your whims and caprices today? Is it being a warlord in the state? And is it how politics should be played? These are questions really yearning for answers now. The party further warned Wike against demolishing any hotel, recreational facility, or other property owned by any of its members in the state. Speaking further, Finebone warned that Wike will bring upon himself apocalypses of immense proportions, right? Those are the words, underline it, apocalypses of immense proportions. I'm quoting Finebone now. He says, if he attempts to demolish any hotel, leisure places, or the APC in Rivers State has it on news for Governor Wike. He is not in any position to demolish the hotel, leisure places, or any property of the APC member in Rivers State under any guise whatsoever. Well, what is the move? What is the grounds of Governor Wike to make this statement to demolish hotels and leisure places if he is actually, is it a way to tell them that he's actually in charge of the state? What is the matter? What is the issue on ground? Why is this really coming out of the mouth of the first citizen of Rivers State? Is it something that he doesn't want people to really do in the state? Why won't you allow giving to other parties in the state today? Now, the message again by Chris Finebone, the spokesperson of the APC, says this message should sink in adequately. It is absolutely party members to let him repeat his jungle justice on them as the world witnessed during the last pandemic high noon. Well, the party in Rivers State, APC, is actually talking right now, and they're bearing their minds, saying they're not in agreement to such matters and such issues raised by the governor, and the governor should allow its members to have the right to have gatherings. Now, it's under the constitution that members or a political party can gather and have their meetings. So, will this be bridging the rights of the political parties and the right for people to have freedom of association and gathering today, and against the Constitution. These are matters we have to discuss today, and we really would tell you that the station is actually gearing towards giving you a full hearing and first-hand information concerning things happening in the state and also in politics in Nigeria. And that's why we're holding open conversation today. At this point in time, we'd like to take a break. When we'll come back, we'll continue with the issues on ground and introduce our guests. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Meet the people making the difference in our time on ATN Icons. Here, we present you legends celebrated for their heroism in different fields and serve as role models today. ATN Icons, showing every Sunday 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Atlantic Television Network, StarTimes DTH channel 194, ATN Live on Google App Store, Facebook Atlantic Television Network, YouTube Atlantic Television Network, Instagram Atlantic TV Network, Twitter Atlantic TV Net. For sponsorship 0810 634 1777. ATN Icons, celebrating the giants of our time.
The people, the candidates, the party, the campaigns. What really makes an election year? Enough of the rhetorics. It's time for issue-based politics. 2023 elections. Who are the candidates? What do you know about them? Take a seat, relax, and join us for the 2023 elections on Atlantic Television Network, StarTimes, DTH, channel 194, or ATN Live on Google Play Store and all our social media platforms. Twitter is at Atlantic TV Net. Facebook and YouTube is at Atlantic Television Network. On Instagram is at Atlantic TV Network. Elections 2023 from Mondays to Fridays at 8 p.m. Election 2023. We the people have a stake.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human trafficker.
Honorable they are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what the blood.
I have fought very firmly.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
Remain committed to the United Kingdom leaving.
Since I became Prime Minister, I've said we must get on and get Brexit done on October the 31st so that this country can move on.
Sir, my amendment is that Mr. President should be
Welcome back from that break. We head over now to the introduction of our guests. Remember, before we went on the break, we were talking about the issues raised by APC, claiming that Governor Wike will be working for them. And another one is that they have given some really stance concerning the statement made by the governor of the state, that's Rivers State, Governor Wike, saying that he's going to demolish hotels and leisure places. They've really made their stand. The person of Chris Foster, Richard Aduche Wokocha. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining me. Yeah, okay. So the matter on ground is quite gaining so much buzz in the news today. The first says that APC claim Governor Wike is in talks to work for Tinubu's election. Well, what do you make of this in our democracy?
Well, it's politics, and politics is about willing and dealing. And participants, especially key players, look for where they are comfortable and where they are valued in particular. I think the political situation in Nigeria, especially in the major parties, APC and PDP, has indicated that if such change happens, it will not be surprising. I think the governor has had a few encounters with his party that may make him uncomfortable. But this is a claim by one party, and there has been no confirmation, to my knowledge, from the governor's camp. So if it happens, I won't be surprised.
Well, most of the things that were said, that Atiku Abubakar, when he granted an interview to
demolition of property. Extreme care needs to be taken. It's property. So it is possible to demolish hotels, but there must be good legal grounds for doing so. If a hotel has become a threat to society from the fact that it is being used for criminal activities, and that is confirmed, the state may have cause to do so. There are other situations that such thing can happen, where the hotel becomes a threat to health as a result of activities going on in that place. There may be situations of that nature where it may be legitimate for steps to be taken to protect the general populace. Other than that, extreme care needs to be taken when it comes to demolition of private property.
So, but we've seen situations whereby they're having party issues really going on in the hotels. And in the past, we've had such demolitions really take place. And we've not seen the light of the day concerning such cases. What should the statement made by Chris Feinbone at this point in time? He said that the party will not really take that. That is an act of, you know, taking laws into your hands as the governor, infringing on the rights of the members of the public. As a party, we have right to association and gatherings.
Because of political activity in a place, that will definitely be out of line with the law. That would be completely illegal. And that's why I say the state needs to be careful what it does. You cannot, for reasons other than reasons allowed by law, decide that you're part of their constitution. Whether there is anything in the constitution that insists that the party chairman and candidates should not come from the same side. But if there is no such legal ground, because if there is, it becomes a constitutional matter, a matter touching on their party constitution. Now, if there is no such provision in the law, it means that they are saying, look, one, for convenience, and two, for effective electioneering, you need to change the leadership. That would be a moral issue. And an issue that the party will have to consider looking at its impact on the election it's about to go into. I'm aware that some persons in the southwest, and I think George, yes, George.
Bode George.
Bode George.
Yes.
Did say the same. His position as a party, as a statesman, as a party leader, as an elder in the party, a party chieftain. So it was his opinion that the party will do better if people in the area in which he has to campaign find that they have some stake in the party. But as it is right...
PDP Rivers stakeholders at each rally, a former lawmaker, Senator Lee, said the governor's action was because of his closeness to Atiku. That's what he said first. And see some other matters. He said that we have a candidate and he's also speaking concerning the matters really raised in association with Atiku. He says we have a candidate of the party who has the capacity to lead Nigeria out of crisis. What do you make by the statement made by the Senator Lee Meba concerning the issues of his party and Governor Wike?
I think yes, the governor is of the opinion that those who are loyal to him and who are working with him should take a cue from him. And if for now he is not in good terms between him and the candidate, which has not been resolved. But the gentleman also states that as a party member that he has a responsibility to support his party candidate. So it's within his right. The governor is also within his right. Considering that this is not issued in Rivers State for Martin, but again, it's speculation because the governor has not confirmed that he made such statement, and there has been no confirmation how the party system and the party structures in Nigeria are, except that control, exercise that power of control. Something about the Nigerian party system has not left much room for expression and toleration of divergent views. It's not just happening in the PDP. Recall that's what has done from 2018 to date. So I think, yes, there is something that needs to be corrected about the Nigerian party system. There is something about it that does not allow members to express their rights.
That's why public leaders are not really responsible towards some actions.
If votes do not count, it means that what counts is determining who is candidate in a councillorship election at the council. Because on the long run, what will determine who wins and who is successful is something far from above. But we are the people who have to decide. The thinking of political parties will shift. They will begin to bother about their image. They will begin to say, what are people saying about us? How are people viewing us? Are people seeing us as being tyrannical, as being too close, and we do not?
Because everybody has individual votes to cast. If Adegboyega Oyetola was in charge of votes in Osun, he won't have lost election. So, for somebody to be boasting he is in charge of votes, people should ask him, where do you want to get the votes? How many votes card does he have? On the allegation of politicians holding meetings in Abuja against him and in the party as we speak. That's superhuman nature.
Our experience, I told you something about our party system and how they are structured. It's an issue of superhuman. And a superhuman whose view must be the rule and must be the law. So something about the structure makes that possible. Especially in Rivers State, something about Rivers State makes that even more possible than in other states. We seem to have that propensity for superhumans to emerge and to take charge of political parties in Rivers State.
So what really gives rise to this superhuman? Is it that most people are timid to really talk?
It's overdependence. Let's come down to local language. Where there is and all that enables leaders to choose who gets what and what. And because a greater number of our political participants are predisposed to wanting to attend to stomach, they fall in line. And of course, one can say prior to this time, Senator Lee Meba did not say anything wrong with his political leader. So if for any reason they are falling out now, it must be because interests have clashed. So I think we need to have room for greater expression. As I said, a closed political system is encouraged where votes do not count. I believe that we will see dramatic difference in our political activities and political culture after 2023 election.
All right, would you tag this as true too? Because
you and I are not in the political theater, and you and I are not in their political party, so we do not know exactly what is going on in their party and within them. But as I say, very often he who holds the stick or he who holds the knife and the hand determines what the individuals get. So I think that is what is playing. I agree with him. Our freedom of expression should be as much as possible. individuals should be able to express themselves. And their right of association should also be respected.
In River State or nationally?
It can. 2023 election, it can. Because if you possess 1 million PVCs, you can't use them. The owners of those PVCs must be accredited at the right place and cast their votes for those votes to be able to count. So it's no longer a question of being able to have a lot of PVCs. So if there is disagreement within the camp, and in Nigerian political culture, the electorate listens to its political leaders. So if there is disagreement...
Nationally, we have a different vote cast.
Of course, vote counting means that individuals will make their choices. The electorate, the average voter, it's about expressing yourself politically, deciding what you think is best for your political society. And it includes voting across party lines. If you trust a candidate presented by another party better than your own candidate in a particular constituency, nothing stops you from voting in that direction. It's the culture of voting worldwide.
So, for me, that means we may link it to the issue of the claims by APC, by Chris Finebone, that he may be working with Tinubu in the national level and working for the PDP.
Rights. The need to support your party is a social issue. It's one that is informed by your belief and your endorsement. He does not even need to speak to have the effect that he wants from those whom he supports. What he says in his bedroom can determine where his supporters vote. So he does not have to come out and speak publicly. That is why all parties need to be careful.
But we have visits from all other party members who have come here, like Governor of Lagos State. He's on the platform of the APC, so he's come to really commission some projects.
Governor Wike has also visited states where the government are not under his political party. Interstate transactions, there are all kinds of interests. There are regional interests, there is South-South interest, and there is Southern interest of the region. When governors of the South-South meet, all of them may not belong to the same political party, even if they appear to belong now.
The back and forth of these matters in the PDP, will it be able to be resolved? Will it be able to be resolved when it comes to...
There is always room for resolution. Any issue can be resolved in 1 week. If any of the parties shifts ground a little, he may be shifting in the direction that the other party wants, and that may encourage that party to also shift ground, and it can be resolved as possible. It can be resolved, but it lies in the hands of those involved in the crisis. They need to shift ground, just like the APC crisis of River State.
So what some people say, the governor has not played his role as a party member to really shoot his swords when it comes to things that he didn't get the presidential primaries. Yes, he didn't win. Then VP position wasn't given to him. And the governor of River State, the person of Peter Odili, and also Rotimi Amechi, and he's not really shifting grounds when it comes to that. So has he played his role very well? Has he been a good party member when it has to do with still having strong hold on the issues on ground?
Well, you and I may not be in position to judge who is a good party member, especially if we are not party members as such. But the governor is a very relevant party member. He's a very strong person. I think that within the political circles, they must have the feeling that whoever has him has somebody. So if he is such a strong man, his interests will not also be light.
All right.
And those who want to transact with him will also take that interest lightly. I believe that that is what is playing out.
All right.
It is part of the strength that you take a position and you stand firm, and parties have to show working and show that they are ready to cut your support.
But this is breaking the party further.
I agree.
It's breaking the party further. And in time past, he's also done some things that party members really do not like.
Strong people have strong character. So when
said, Chikwando told our correspondent that Darie and Yeme were documented Monday morning and they had since left the prison. Well, Yeme was sentenced for 12 years for diverting 1.64 billion naira during their tenure as governor of Taraba, while Daria was sentenced for 10 years imprisonment for 1.126 billion naira fraud. The state pardon granted the former governors generated some controversies across the country, forcing government to stay action and carry out more consultation on the matter. Now, some Nigerians believe that the pardon would erode the commitment of the government in the fight against corruption, while others believe that it would embolden public officers to perpetrate frauds. Barrister Wokocha, this is the matter on ground, and it's raising some dust in our polity today. First of all, what do you make of the release? It's 4 months after their pardon was granted, and this is the time we're actually having information that they have been released. What's the process involved in all this? Legally?
When there has been a grant of clemency, there must be processes that must be met to communicate that grant. And the correctional facilities must receive the process that authorizes them to release such persons before such persons can be released. I believe that it is those processes that need to be met that would have taken the 4 months that it took for them to be released.
So on the grounds that their pardon shouldn't have been granted to them because of the height or the magnitude of their crime, and saying that it's going to really encourage more corrupt practices in Nigeria. What's your take on this?
I agree, but it's been our culture to worry more about those who have been indicted politically, and clemency in Nigeria has always been, bulk of it has been tilted towards such questionable considerations. We should be looking at the other side. People whose cases were not so serious, people whose convictions could be quashed, or could be pardoned because of some moral considerations, people who need to be pardoned because of health situation and things like that. And then if you must have people being released on political grounds, considerations around the world is usually more towards people whose imprisonment have raised some moral questions. Political prisoners, prisoners of conscience and things like that. Those are the kind of things we hear elsewhere in the world. But in Nigeria, it has always been about the release of people who were convicted for stealing public property. And so it's not coming as a surprise to me. It's in line with the trend we have established for ourselves as an unserious nation, I must say, because we have presented ourselves as an unserious nation. So I'm not surprised. Did I expect something different? Yeah, with respect to how our anticipations at the beginning of the current national administration, yes, one could have expected something different, but we are towards the tail end of it, and a lot has happened in between that I'm no longer surprised.
Okay, the release, people say that they have a really great function to really play towards the 2023 elections. There's two personalities there because they have some level of influence when it comes to elections in their various states right now. Do you also see this in the same light?
I agree. Most former governors are influential persons politically. Most of them have constituencies that look up to them and constituencies that take instruction from them with respect to voting pattern. If votes are expected to count better in 2023, then I won't be surprised that people are reasoning that way, because you need people who will bring in the votes. So if there is a move that may ensure that more people may be persuaded to come out and vote in a particular direction that interests you, I won't be surprised if that influences the considerations for grant of clemency in Nigeria.
All right, we'll drop this matter here for now. Then we'll move over to the next one, which has to do with APC. Still on some legal matters also. It says court fixes date for hearing on Tinubu certificate forgery case. Now, an Abuja Federal High Court fixed September 7th to hear a suit seeking to disqualify the All Progressive Congress APC presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu from participating in the 2023 elections. Can this actually see the light of the day when it comes to Nigeria?
I would like to ask you, what is the allegation?
The allegation says that falsification of documents, also certificates, when it comes to that. So another one, it says 4 APC chieftains had approached the court and sought Tinubu's disqualification from the presidential elections because he allegedly submitted false information to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in a 33-paragraph affidavit in support of the suit deposed to by one Ibiang, Miko Ibiang. The plaintiff said Tinubu lied in an affidavit presented to INEC in 1999, in which he claimed to have attended St. Paul Arroyo Loria Children Home School, Ibadan, from 1958 to 1964, and Government College, Ibadan, 1965 to 1968. Ruling on an expert application, the judge, Ahmed Mohammed, granted an order for substituting service on Tinubu. Now, the plaintiff's counsel, Godi Uche, informed the court that substituted service has become necessary because all attempts to serve the presidential candidate proved abortive. The court ordered that the process should be served on the National Secretariat of the APC, and that such service shall be deemed as having been properly served on Tinubu. So,
if what is at issue and what they are in court for is that statement he made in 1999 is considered incorrect, how does that affect statements he made in 2022?
That's the question also.
It would have made more sense if they were saying he lied in the form he submitted now. What you are alleging has to be relevant to the program or event from which you want the person to be disqualified. If they want to see criminal conviction, prosecution and conviction over some lie he told in the past, that's a different thing. But you can't talk of disqualification unless you're proving that something he submitted now is incorrect or is a lie. Again, even if you look at the substance of those claims, if a person says, I attended a school, and the person did not finish from that school, he will not have certificate proving that he attended that school. But would that mean that saying that he attended that school is a lie? That would be a different thing, because it won't prove that it's a lie. You can attend a school without eventually finishing from that school or without graduating from that school. You can attend a school, and we had cases like that. It's not a large number, but you have cases of people who attend school and for one economic or other reason are unable to register for work and they do not write. So attending school is not proved by not attending school also is not proved by the fact that you did not produce certificate from that school. Attendance of a school can be proved in different ways, whether it is class photograph or class register and all that, showing that you were in the school. All those will prove that you attended the school. So I do not think that what they are pursuing is relevant to 2023 election. It would have made more sense if they were saying that his submissions for the 2023 election are false. Therefore, INEC should invoke his powers to disqualify him for presenting false information, but not 1999.
So you mean that this matter really cannot really see the light of the day when it comes to court matter?
I do not see it touching on his candidacy.
Okay. And
because it's not talking about the election, the current election, and it's not talking about his activities in the current election.
So, but if such matters, if they bring up the second one you've just said now, could it be used as a bait to really disqualify him?
If you prove, and as I said, proving could be a very difficult thing, because the fact that there is no certificate and his name is not in the class register of WAEC for that year does not prove that he did not attend. Even attending a school for 1 year and eventually not going on with that school qualifies or makes truth the statement, I attended this school. So attending a school is a very fluid thing that you cannot prove by saying that he has no certificate from that school.